ExamPrep.School, Wisconsin General and State Accident and Health, or Sickness Insurance Exam, Exam Code 22-3. There are 4 practice exams in this series. This video covers Practice Exam 1. The first 20 questions are free. In this video, we will be covering the following major categories for Practice Exam 1. Accident and Health Insurance Basics, Dental Insurance, Disability Income and Related Insurance, Federal Tax Considerations for Accident and Health, General Insurance, Group Accident and Health Insurance, Insurance Regulation, Long-Term Care Insurance, Medical Plans, Medicare. Let's walk through the format. I'll read each question and its choices. Let's get started. Question 1. Under Wisconsin insurance law, an individual applying for a resident accident and health producer license must submit fingerprints for a criminal history records check within how many days of filing the application? A. 30 days. B. 15 days. C. 60 days. D. 90 days. A countdown circle appears in the top right. Once it completes, the answer is revealed. You can pause at any time if you'd like longer to think. If you'd like additional practice covering more topics, see the description for our book. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is 30 days because Wisconsin statutes require fingerprint submission for a criminal history check within 30 days of application filing. Reason B is not correct. A 15-day period is too short. The statutory deadline is 30 days. Reason C is not correct. A 60-day time frame exceeds the statutory 30-day requirement. Reason D is not correct. A 90-day period is beyond the allowed 30-day window. Question 2. Under Wisconsin's reciprocity standards, a non-resident producer must remit a license fee equal to what percentage of the resident producer license fee? A. 75%. B. 100%. C. 125%. D. 150%. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is 150%, because Wisconsin law requires non-resident producers to pay 1.5 times the resident license fee under reciprocity. Reason A is not correct. A 75% fee is too low and not provided in the reciprocity statute. Reason B is not correct. A 100% fee would equal the resident fee, which does not fulfill the higher non-resident requirement. Reason C is not correct. A 125% fee understates the statutory requirement of 150%. Question 3. What document must a business entity applying for a producer license in Wisconsin submit to demonstrate its lawful corporate existence? A. Articles of Incorporation. B. Certificate of Good Standing. And C. Business Plan Summary. D. Affidavit of Prior Licensure. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is Certificate of Good Standing, because Wisconsin requires this document to verify that the business entity is authorized to transact business in its state of formation. Reason A is not correct. Articles of Incorporation establish formation but do not confirm current good standing. Reason C is not correct. A business plan summary is not a statutory requirement for licensing. Reason D is not correct. An affidavit of prior licensure does not establish corporate existence. Question 4. Which of the following is not included under the accident and health line of authority for Wisconsin producer licenses? A. Hospital indemnity plans. B. Medicare supplement insurance. C. Annuities. D. Disability income policies. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is annuities, because annuities fall under the life insurance line of authority, not the accident and health line. Reason A is not correct. Hospital indemnity plans are covered under accident and health authority. Reason B is not correct. Medicare supplement insurance is included in the accident and health line. Reason D is not correct. Disability income policies are authorized under accident and health. Question 5. An applicant for an accident and health producer license has completed 15 hours of prelicensing education, specifically covering accident and health topics. According to Wisconsin licensing requirements, how many additional hours of accident and health education must the applicant complete before applying for the license? A. 4 hours. B. 5 hours. C. 6 hours. D. 7 hours. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is 5 hours. Wisconsin requires 20 hours of accident and health prelicensing education, so 20 minus 15 equals 5 additional hours. Reason A is not correct. This choice leaves the applicant 1 hour short of the required 20 hours. Reason C is not correct. This choice exceeds the minimum additional hours needed beyond the 20-hour requirement. Reason D is not correct. This choice also exceeds the necessary number of additional hours. Question 6. A candidate sat for the accident and health producer licensing exam in Wisconsin on a Monday afternoon and did not pass. Under Wisconsin exam retake rules, on which day can the candidate next schedule the exam attempt? A. Tuesday. B. Wednesday. C. Thursday. D. Friday. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is Wednesday because Wisconsin requires a full calendar day, 24 hours, between failed exam attempts. Reason A is not correct. This choice violates the 24-hour minimum waiting period. Reason C is not correct. This choice is later than the earliest permissible retake date. Reason D is not correct. This choice unnecessarily extends beyond the minimum wait requirement. Question 7. Carol submitted her online accident and health producer license application through the NIPR portal on July 1st and paid the required fees that day. All required documents, including training certificates, were uploaded correctly. Under Wisconsin statutes, on which date will the license become effective? A. July 1st, the submission date. B. July 2nd, when fees were processed. C. The date the commissioner approves and issues the license. D. The first day of the following month. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is the date the commissioner approves and issues the license, as Wisconsin law specifies that licensure takes effect upon issuance. Reason A is not correct. Receipt of an application does not establish an effective license. Reason B is not correct. Fee processing date does not determine the license's effective date. Reason D is not correct. Licenses do not wait for the next month. Effectiveness is on issuance. Question 8. Jordan underwent a background check for his Wisconsin accident and health producer license by submitting fingerprints through an approved live scan vendor 10 months ago. He has not been convicted of any crime since. Under Wisconsin regulations, what must Jordan do to satisfy the fingerprinting requirement for his new license application? A. Submit a new fingerprint card via mail. B. Provide the prior live scan receipt unchanged. C. Resubmit live scan fingerprints only if more than 12 months have passed. D. Complete a digital fingerprint scan through any vendor. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is that fingerprints must be resubmitted only if more than 12 months have passed, since Wisconsin accepts live scan prints from an approved vendor within the past year. Reason A is not correct. Mailed fingerprint cards are not accepted. Live scan through an approved vendor is required. Reason B is not correct. A receipt alone does not substitute for actual fingerprints on file. Reason D is not correct. Only fingerprints from a state-approved vendor are valid. Question 9. A licensed Wisconsin accident and health producer was charged with a misdemeanor on June 15th. Under Wisconsin insurance regulations, by what date must the producer report this charge to the commissioner? A. Within 10 days of conviction. B. June 30th. C. August 14th. D. July 15th. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is July 15th, because Wisconsin requires notification of criminal charges within 30 days of the charge date. Reason A is not correct. Reporting is triggered by the charge, not by conviction, and must occur within 30 days. Reason B is not correct. This date is less than the 30-day reporting window. Reason C is not correct. This date exceeds the 30-day reporting requirement. Question 10. Which action best satisfies a Wisconsin insurance producer's fiduciary duty to hold premiums collected on behalf of an insurer? A. Co-mingle premiums with personal operating funds while tracking them in the accounting ledger. B. Deposit premiums into a separate trust account immediately upon receipt. C. Hold premiums in an escrow account until the insurer formally issues the policy. D. Retain premiums in the general operating account until month-end reconciliation. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is depositing premiums into a separate trust account immediately upon receipt, as Wisconsin law requires producers to hold insurer funds in fiduciary capacity in a segregated trust account until remittance. Reason A is not correct. Commingling with personal funds, even with ledger tracking, breaches statutory requirements for segregation of insurer funds. Reason C is not correct. Holding premiums in an escrow account is not recognized under Wisconsin insurance law for fiduciary funds. Reason D is not correct. Retaining premiums in a general operating account fails to separate insurer funds from the producer's own. Question 11. Under Wisconsin insurance regulations, within how many calendar days must a producer remit premium payments to the insurer after the close of the calendar month in which they were collected? A. 10 calendar days. B. 15 calendar days. C. 30 calendar days. D. 45 calendar days. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is 30 calendar days, as Wisconsin statutes require remittance of collected premiums within 30 days after the end of the month in which they were received. Reason A is not correct. 10 days is shorter than the statutory remittance period specified by Wisconsin law. Reason B is not correct. 15 days is below the required 30-day timeframe mandated for premium remittance. Reason D is not correct. 45 days exceeds Wisconsin's maximum remittance period of 30 days. Question 12. According to Wisconsin insurance regulations, a producer must retain records of policy applications and related transaction documents for at least how many years following completion of the transaction? A. 3 years. B. 5 years. C. 6 years. D. 7 years. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is 5 years, as Wisconsin law mandates producers to maintain transaction and policy records for a minimum of 5 years after the transaction's completion. Reason A is not correct. 3 years is below the statutory minimum retention period required in Wisconsin. Reason C is not correct. 6 years exceeds the required minimum and is not mandated by Wisconsin regulations. Reason D is not correct. 7 years surpasses Wisconsin's retention requirement and is not necessary for compliance. Question 13. A Wisconsin licensed producer sold a group health policy 2 years ago and is now undergoing a state market conduct exam. The examiner requests copies of all transaction documents related to that sale. Under Wisconsin regulations, which document must the producer retain and make available? A. Copies of the completed application forms and premium payment receipts, retained for at least 6 years. B. A log of phone call summaries with the employer group. C. Evidence of commission disbursement schedules to sub-producers. D. Limited hail adjuster license. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is the completed applications and premium receipts because Wisconsin mandates that producers keep application records and proof of payment for a minimum statutory period to demonstrate proper solicitation and premium handling. Reason B is not correct. Phone call summaries are not specifically required. The emphasis is on signed applications and receipts. Reason C is not correct. Commission schedules are not part of the transaction documentation standards for policy records. Reason D is not correct. Continuing education certificates relate to licensing maintenance, not transaction documentation. Question 14. An individual asks a Wisconsin producer during a sales appointment, "How much commission will you earn on my new health policy?" According to Wisconsin law, what disclosure must the producer provide? A. A statement that compensation exists without giving details. B. A general range of total insurer profits on the policy. C. An outline of management bonus structures at the insurer. D. The specific commission amount or percentage earned on the sale. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is the specific commission amount or percentage because Wisconsin regulations require producers to disclose exact compensation figures or rates when directly asked by an insured. Reason A is not correct. Merely acknowledging compensation exists fails to meet the requirement for specific disclosure. Reason B is not correct. Insurer profit ranges are not the producer's compensation and are not required disclosures. Reason C is not correct. Management bonuses are unrelated to the producer's direct commission disclosure obligation. Question 15. A Wisconsin producer plans to pay an unlicensed friend 15% of each policy's commission for referring clients. Under Wisconsin law, what is true regarding this arrangement? A. It is acceptable if the friend signs a written referral agreement. B. It is permitted only if the payment does not exceed 10% of the gross commission. C. It is allowed if the producer discloses the arrangement to the insurer in writing. D. Commission sharing with an unlicensed individual is prohibited and subject to penalty. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is that commission sharing with an unlicensed individual is prohibited because Wisconsin statutes forbid paying any portion of commissions to persons not properly licensed. Reason A is not correct. A referral agreement does not substitute for holding an insurance license. Reason B is not correct. There is no percentage threshold that permits commission sharing with unlicensed persons. Reason C is not correct. Disclosure to an insurer does not override the licensing requirement. Question 16. A producer writes health policies exclusively for employees of his wholly owned manufacturing firm, accounting for 70% of his annual commissions. Under Wisconsin's controlled business rules, how must this activity be classified? A. Requires a separate controlled business license endorsement. B. Prohibited because it exceeds 50% of total business. C. Controlled business that must be disclosed on his license renewal. D. Exempt from record keeping since it is internal business. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is that sales to the producer's own firm constitute controlled business and must be disclosed at renewal because Wisconsin defines controlled business as insurance on interests of the producer or related entities. Reason A is not correct. Wisconsin does not require a separate license for controlled business. Reason B is not correct. There is no percentage cap that prohibits controlled business. Reason D is not correct. Controlled business remains subject to standard record-keeping requirements. Question 17. Under Wisconsin statutes, which action can the Commissioner of Insurance take when an insurer is found to violate state insurance law? A. Issue a cease and desist order against the insurer. B. Impose criminal prison sentences on responsible officers. C. Arbitrarily adjust the insurer's loss reserve requirements. D. Authorize the insurer to operate without a certificate of authority. The correct answer is A. The Commissioner has explicit authority to issue cease and desist orders to halt unlawful insurer practices. Criminal penalties, unilateral reserve adjustments, and operating without a certificate are not within that power. Reason B is not correct. Criminal sentences may only be imposed by a court following prosecution, not directly by the Commissioner. Reason C is not correct. Reserve changes require formal rehabilitation or conservation proceedings, not unilateral adjustments. Reason D is not correct. Insurers must hold a valid certificate of authority. The Commissioner cannot legally authorize operation without one. Question 18. Which of the following documents must accompany an application for a certificate of authority filed with the Wisconsin Commissioner of Insurance? A. Biographical affidavits for each officer, director, and controlling person. B. Copies of all reinsurance treaties currently in force. C. A detailed list of any prior market conduct exam infractions. D. A 5-year historical paid-in capital summary. The correct answer is A. Wisconsin law requires biographical affidavits for key individuals when applying for a certificate of authority. The other documents are not mandated at initial filing. Reason B is not correct. Reinsurance treaties may be submitted later but are not a mandatory attachment to the initial application. Reason C is not correct. Market conduct infractions are reviewed but listing them is not required at application. Reason D is not correct. Historical capital summaries beyond the minimum capital deposit are not specified as a filing requirement. Question 19. Which of the following applies to admitted insurers but not to non-admitted insurers in Wisconsin? A. Participation in the Wisconsin Insurance Security Fund. B. Sale of policies through surplus lines, brokers. C. Exemption from state rate and form filing requirements. D. Absence of regulatory solvency oversight. The correct answer is A. Admitted insurers in Wisconsin must participate in the State Guarantee Fund, whereas non-admitted insurers do not. The other options describe characteristics of non-admitted or are incorrect. Reason B is not correct. Use of surplus lines brokers is a feature of non-admitted insurer transactions, not admitted ones. Reason C is not correct. Non-admitted insurers are exempt from rate and form filings. Admitted insurers must file. Reason D is not correct. Both admitted and non-admitted insurers are subject to regulatory solvency standards, though oversight mechanisms differ. Question 20. A Wisconsin-domiciled health insurer submits its annual statement to the Office of the Commissioner of Insurance by the March 1st deadline, but omits the required actuarial opinion summary. 30 days after the filing deadline, the missing opinion summary still has not been provided. Under Wisconsin statutory requirements for annual statements, which action is the Commissioner most likely to take next? A. Refer the insurer for criminal charges for misrepresentation. B. Require the insurer to file a fully amended annual statement within 45 days. C. Place the insurer under formal regulatory supervision. D. Assess a daily penalty of $100 until the actuarial opinion summary is filed. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is that the Commissioner may assess a daily penalty of $100 until the missing actuarial opinion summary is filed, as provided for late or incomplete annual statement filings. Reason A is not correct. Criminal charges for misrepresentation require willful falsification, not an unintentional omission of supporting schedules. Reason B is not correct. Requiring a fully amended statement applies when errors are discovered in the filed data, not simply a missing attachment. Reason C is not correct. Regulatory supervision is reserved for more severe solvency concerns, not a procedural omission of a report. Enjoyed this practice test? Tap like, hit subscribe, and share it with a classmate. Got a question we should tweak? Comment below. We read them all. Find full practice exam books in the description or at ExamPrep.School.